a stage where it says it's won. Already it's spending probably more than any other country on, inverted commas, defense. How much further can it go?
The Russians will be able to continue to fight this war as long as the Kremlin continues to justify the sacrifices and require the sacrifices of its people. It is important to note that we are looking at Russia being at its wartime capabilities, meaning its economy is mobilized, meaning that its defense industrial base in full swing production. Purely looking into GDP, for example, the Russians have a significantly lower capacity to sustain this war. However, we're just not on the same level at this time.
There's been much talk in the West of seizing Russian assets and putting the funds towards the Ukrainian war effort. In America, that's gone a little further than talk. How worried are the Russians?
The Russians are extremely worried. This is actually the number one discussion point that I've observed in the past couple of days after the passing of the supplemental aid bill. Interestingly, I was expecting that the Russians would launch some sort of information operations and narratives about military aid, but they're also significantly seizing on this opportunity to talk about the frozen assets. They are worried that the European Union will follow suit.
I'm thinking about Russian assets in London and the threats of the British government to do something similar. That must be a wake-up call.
It is definitely a wake-up call. We can see, based on the Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, his recent neuralgia about this point. He has been emphasizing in recent press conferences Kremlin narratives specifically targeting the West, claiming that seizing frozen assets is going to destroy the credibility of Western financial institutions, or claiming that this is against the international law.
Some Western commentators have predicted that this could be the year when Russia wins this war. Do you share their pessimism?
No, I actually don't. The Russian forces have only been able to gain around 600 square kilometers since the start of their offensive operation in October 2023. This is not a significant amount of territory. The Russian forces are continuing to have to commit division worth of fighters to seize some tactical ground in one part of the front line. The objective of capturing all of Ukraine is going to take a lot more material and manpower, and it's something that the Russians are not going to be able to do. So what we're seeing on the battlefield right now is essentially high Russian sacrifices for tactical gains, and with the U.S. aid coming in, I don't think that all is lost. The small tactical gains that we're seeing on the battlefield is not an indicator of a decisive Russian victory.
Katerina Stepanenko, who is Russia analyst in Washington at the Institute for the Study of War in Washington. Ulrika, we're going to come to you at more length in a moment, because this is your specialist topic, of course. But